Hi divas. So I just left IKEA. I needed to buy a little cart for my wax pot. And on the screen, when I went to check out, it was like, you've been randomly selected for someone to come help you. And like, even though there's a big yellow warning on the screen that's like, if you use your self-checkout, you will be subject to random searches, it's still, I don't know, it just feels like racial profiling, you know? Because why me? That has happened to me at the TSA checkout line as well. Like, you've been randomly selected for the drug screening where they like take the stuff and wipe your palms. It's a good thing I had done a week before, not that same day. I never thought that I would be in this position a year after Kia bought back my EV9 for being a lemon, because now my 2025 launch edition Polestar 3 is also a lemon. Oh no! And I just won arbitration. And even though the whole process took 5 months, Polestar's buying back this lovely car, well, mostly lovely. And now I'm gonna be in the market for a new car. And I think I'm gonna get the Rivian R2. The Rivian R2 is an adventure 5-seat SUV that is smaller than the R1S. Yeah, drive on dirt roads. That's what we do in a Rivian R2. Drive through the mountains. R2, yeah. I tend to be so wordy, so my goal is to make this video less than 15 minutes. I'm aiming for 12, but we're gonna aim for, I'm gonna give myself a little buffer, you know? So let's say 15 minutes. Please subscribe, like this video. Even if you don't like me and you don't watch these videos, subscribe anyway. Although it'd be really hard not to like me. I bought this Polestar 3 almost a year ago in March 2025. It had some shaky issues with the steering wheel. It had 2 tires that had flat spots from sitting for so long. I got those replaced. I said, hey Polestar, if 2 tires have flat spots, what are the odds that the other 2 also have flat spots? And they were like, no, you're fine. So I get the 2 replaced, I leave, still shaky, take the car back. Oh, you're right. It is the other 2 tires as well. So then they replaced those 2 tires, leave, steering wheel still shaking. They tried all these different things. It was just a whole ordeal. I'm not even gonna get into the negligence of the Volvo service center that I was taking to, because at the end of the day, I'm getting back all the money I spent for this car. I like transparency. Total money that I put down, as well as all of the payments over the last 12, now 13, and I'm even probably gonna need to make a 14th payment, gonna be just under $21,000. So I'll be getting $21,000 back, and I intend to use probably at least half of that to put down on a Rivian R2 lease, which I'm so excited about. Let me run through the specs of the R2 that I'm getting. So I intend to get the launch edition R2, the performance edition. So it comes out to $57,990, and this includes 656 horsepower, 609 pound-feet of torque, 0 to 60 in as little as 3.6 seconds. I'm going with the 21-inch wheels, the all-season tires, so I'm gonna get 330 miles of range. Although I usually aim for the bigger tires, or excuse me, the bigger wheels, because it fills out wheel wells better. But for Rivian, for this R2, regardless of which tire size or which wheel size and tire package you purchase, they all equal 32 inches. So if you get the 20-inch wheels, then you're gonna get 12 inches of sidewall. If you get the 21-inch wheels, you're gonna get 11 inches of sidewall. So I think it's cool how they did that. I'm actually, for the first time, looking at the all-terrain tires on the 20-inchers. They just look sexy, but then you lose 23 miles of range. So I don't know. I'm probably gonna just end up with the 21 all seasons because I wanna take more road trips, and so that range is super important to me. Now, this launch edition performance comes with semi-active suspension. It comes with, I think just one color is free, the Esker Silver. It's gonna have the Compass yellow brake calipers. I'm gonna get the black Crater Signature interior. There's a white version as well. As you can see, I have like the white color seats here. They're mostly clean. Like if I look at it in certain angles, I can tell that the driver's seat is like a little bit dirtier than every other seat. I'm sure it would come off if I cleaned it or treated it. I just haven't with this car because I'm gonna give it back anyway. Now, because I'm also getting the launch edition, it's coming with exclusive features that are going to either not exist in future models or they're actually gonna cost more. So for the $57,990, I'm getting a lifetime of Autonomy Plus, which is Rivian's self-driving suite. Right now, it really only does hands-off driving on roadways that have a clear street marker. They said before the end of the year, you're gonna to get self-automated parking as well as point-to-point. So just like Tesla's full self-driving, I can punch in a destination, hit a button, and it's going to back me out, drive me all the way there and park without me having to intervene. I not recently, I guess a few months ago, test drove the Tesla Model Y. I will never purchase a Tesla because Elon Musk is a However, I just wanted to experience what a Tesla full self-driving model did because I'd never experienced it before. It's fucking sweet. I don't think I'm going to use it all the time because I just prefer to drive myself, especially in Atlanta. People can't drive, and for some reason I just feel safer like being in control because I'm actually a good driver. But at launch though, Autonomy Plus is really just going to be like highway assistant, hands off. That's pretty much all you're going to get. Not just highway, you can also drive, you don't have to drive on the highway to use the universal hands-free. You can be on any road. Someone's behind me. You can be on any road. You don't have to be on the highway for universal hands-free. I actually test drove a Rivian R1S 2 days ago. It was my first time ever, not even like driving a Rivian, but just in a Rivian at all. I'm not really gonna talk about that. I think the purpose of this video is actually to compare things about this Polestar 3 that I'm either going to miss or not miss when I get the R2, and I'll kind of touch upon the R1S a little bit when I get into that. The other cool exclusive features for the launch edition R2, besides Autonomy Plus, and this is Autonomy Plus for the lifetime of the vehicle. So if I buy it out, then sell it to somebody else, Autonomy Plus goes with the car, not with the purchaser. So I think that's really cool. And Autonomy Plus typically costs $2,500 one-time fee or $49 a month. The launch edition also enables me to buy a special launch green color, and it's only going to be available for the launch edition. It's okay. I don't think I would pay extra money for it. I'm actually really excited because I'm going to get the Borealis paint, the purple. I think it's so sexy. It's very unique. It's funny. I haven't been a huge purple person in my life, but lately, I don't know why I'm just really into purple. The launch edition also gets a special Rivian green anodized key fob. So it's like green and yellow, and I think they do it like carabiner style. I'm going to be using Phonis keys, so I'm literally never going to use that key fob, but like cool. And then it also comes with the tow package built in, which allows me to tow 4,400 pounds. I've never towed anything ever. This has, I don't know what the tow rating is on this car actually. I'm going to put it up on the screen. I think it's like pretty significant, like pretty good. Eventually I would tow stuff. I don't know what I would tow. Like maybe I'll start mowing people's lawns or something to make a little money, you know, because in this economy, we got to be able to make money because inflation and a war with Iran and president and government being pedos, like all of this is very like taxing and expensive. Things I will miss about this vehicle. Number one, the Bowers & Wilkins sound system. So this has 25 speakers. Everyone almost universally says that the sound system in this car, the Bowers & Wilkins, is the best sound system they've ever heard. I would have to concur. It's actually crazy that when I test drove the Model Y, it had the premium sound system in it, and it was actually, I don't want to say it was on par with this, but it was probably the next best speakers I've heard other than the Bowers & Wilkins in this. And I don't even know if Tesla, if they're branded, I think they're just like proprietary Tesla speakers, but I don't know if it's the number of them, the subwoofer, whatever they did, it sounds really amazing. And so Rivian, as I mentioned, I just test drove the R1S the other day, and I believe it had the upgraded system, which is, I believe, 18 speakers. And honestly, it was mediocre. Like I kind of looked at the EQ settings and it was actually set in a way that I would typically set it, but it just wasn't, it didn't sound that great. Like bass was meh. It kind of sounded just like empty. Like echoey is not the right word. It just didn't have any like soul to it. It just sounded really empty. So the R2 has 9 speakers, 2 mid-woofers and 2 subwoofers. All 4 of those latter are forced balanced. So I think that is supposed to make them sound even better. But comparing the 25 B&W with the 13 in the R2, I don't have high expectations, and I've been asking everyone on the forums who are going to the block parties around the country to please test the speakers, but it sounds like Rivian like disabled it, or like you can't log into music, or they don't let you. I don't really understand what's going on, but I don't think I'm gonna be able to actually hear the speakers until the car comes out. So if you're watching this and you work for Rivian or you get a first peek at the audio system, please give a little review of the speakers because I am just like itching to know what they sound like. Thing number 2 I will miss in here, the air suspension. This is my first car with air suspension, and it's something that, it's not like I don't notice it. When you're driving on the highway at certain speeds, it'll lower for better coefficient of drag. When you slow down a little bit, it'll raise back up. There is a mode where you can like make it rise up if you're like terrain mode or something like that, which I never use because I don't go off-roading or anything in this. But considering the fact that I have 22-inch wheels on here and the tire wall, the sidewall is super thin, yes, I do feel bumps in the road, but it's not as harsh as if I didn't have air suspension, obviously. So I think the air suspension in here is just, it's kind of like out of sight, out of mind, but I know that it's going to feel differently. And I don't want to compare this to the R1S I just test drove because that car, I believe, is like 1,000 pounds heavier than this and about 2,000 pounds heavier than the R2 is going to be. However, driving the R1, you can definitely feel its mass. That had air suspension in it, but to me, it didn't take bumps. It honestly didn't take bumps as well as this, but I think that's just really like a weight and a size thing. The Polestar 3 is so planted. I think I took it for granted a little bit how the driving dynamics of this car, how incredible they are. So we'll see. Like, I'm likely gonna buy the R2 sight unseen, so I'm just gonna have to deal with what it gives me. And I'm definitely spoiled by having this car first, which it makes sense. This is like an $85,000 car compared to a $60,000 R2. I don't know. I'm just really hopeful that the R2, because it has semi-active suspension in the Performance Launch Edition, like, I'm hopeful that that helps somewhat. I just know it's not going to feel as good. I don't know, like, I say it's not going to feel as good without air suspension, but also I'm going to a 21-inch wheel versus a 22. I'm just gonna have to see what happens. Third thing I will miss on this car, and again, it's one of those things that I like don't even really use ever, but it's just like a cute nice to have, is soft closed doors. Again, this is the first car I've ever had that had soft closed doors. I'm almost never in a position to where I need to use it, but sometimes I just like softly close the doors and let it latch itself just because I know it exists. Like, I don't actually need to, I just know that it's there. So it's stuff like that that's just like cool, and it's a nice luxury feature even though I don't need it. And honestly, the gag is, those are the only 3 things that I wrote down. Like, yes, I'm gonna miss just the cool factor of this car. People still, to this day, like, if I'm washing my car, they're like, oh my gosh, this is the Polestar 3, how do you like it? And I have to give them the, like, oh, the driving dynamics is great, I love the brand, but it's a lemon. You know what I mean? And if you go on the forums, any Polestar 3 forums, or, I mean, I know people on Facebook tend to be miserable and just complain, but like, it's actually really crazy how seemingly how many Polestar 3s have issues, considering the fact that they don't sell a lot of these. I've seen 2 in Atlanta on the road since I bought this car. One was driving on the highway, one was pulled into the Publix parking garage that I was in a year, which to me feels crazy. I still speak highly of the brand. I actually even considered, instead of the R2, I'm still slightly considering getting the Polestar 4, but the range is not that great, and considering everything that I've gone through with them, I just don't know if it's worth it right now. They have to figure out their software and their customer support. The service center, the Volvo in Atlanta, is just like, I've experienced worse, but like, it's not great. And Volvo just got rated, I think it was by Consumer Reports, like they're either at the bottom or very close to the bottom of reliability. People complain on the internet, right? Like, I'm here making a video. I'm not trying to complain, but like, I'm just informing you all of what's going on. But I don't know. Yeah, tangent. I don't think I'm gonna get a Polestar 4. But yeah, I'm gonna miss the cool factor. I'm gonna miss the seat belts. I'm gonna miss, like, you know, oh, well, let me just get into the things I'm not gonna miss about this car and what I'm excited for on the R2, because that list is actually much longer. First, I'm gonna say the ventilated seats I'm not gonna miss on this car. Other people have said this too. I'm gonna turn it up all the way. I don't know if you'll be able to hear it because I have my microphone. It like doesn't really do anything. If I just leave the gym and I'm like sweating boots and it's like really hot, I'll feel it initially for like a couple seconds, but then it barely does anything. Again, I hate to compare this to Tesla because I fucking hate Elon and I'll never recommend one. The ventilated seats in the Model Y that I tested were incredible. They're probably like 3 times more powerful, at least, than the ones in here. You can actually like feel it on your body the entire time that it's turned on. The ones in here, like, I don't really feel anything. So I'm excited to try them in the R2. Again, I tried them in the R1S, and I don't know, like, it's hard to say. I kind of feel like they were similar to this, but again, I'm hoping with R2, maybe they improved them. I don't know. We're just gonna have to see, but I'm hopeful that the ventilated seats on R2 will be better than the ones in here. Also, actually, I'm gonna go backwards real quick. I'm also gonna miss the massage seats in here. I use them all the time. And my Kia EV9 had massage seats, but it was like the air pocket ones where it basically just inflates and deflates over and over and over again. It was fine, but these actually like need your back, and there's all these different programs. And for a car massage, it's actually pretty damn good. Again, a luxury feature that I just like overlook and take for granted because the R2 absolutely does not have massage seats. So I'm gonna miss that. The next thing I'm looking forward to in the R2, the dedicated water bottle storage. I have a huge water bottle. I mean, it's not huge, it's probably like a liter maybe. The cup holders in here are super fucking tiny. Like they can barely hold like a standard sized coffee cup or a mug. And in the Kia EV9, it had those little like pushy buttons where like it's just an open space, and if you push a button, it like retracts. That could fit my big ass water bottle. But in the Rivian R2, I think it has like standard poppy outy cup holders in the center console, but then in the door, there's like a huge carve out with a divot in it that is meant for your big ass water bottles. And again, I won't be able to test this until the block party comes to Atlanta. I believe it's May. I'll put it on the screen. It's in my calendar, but it's in May. I'm gonna bring my water bottle to just like test out and see how it fits. But that's just something where in this car, I literally have nowhere to put it in here. I put it on the seat. And sometimes if I brake hard or something, it like flies to the floor. Whereas the one in the Rivian, it should just stay put. Simple design. And it's just like aesthetics and ergonomics. I feel like really,
I don't like it.
I feel like Rivian really has ergonomics down in their vehicles. Yeah, I'm excited for that. The next feature for which I'm excited in the Rivian R2, the headlights. So I'm pretty sure it's been at least a year since adaptive headlights with like matrix, like individual LEDs was sort of approved in the United States. Tesla does it and now Rivian does it. I don't know if any other automakers have done this yet. If they have, let me know in the comments below. But it's actually pretty iconic that like two sub $60,000 cars are like the only two cars in the United States that have the matrix LED function. So I can keep my brights on all the time. If a car is driving at me or there's a car in front of me, it'll block out individual pixels so I can have high beams on everywhere else, but the cars will be sort of blacked out. I think that's really cool. I've always wanted to see that and experience that in real time. I'm pretty sure this car, they might have changed it for the US market, but I feel like this car has the matrix LEDs, but they're just like deactivated and could be activated with the software update. Let me know in the comments if that's incorrect. I felt like the launch editions at least had the matrix LEDs, but maybe they took them out because again, the US is stupid. But for the R2, that is a feature I'm excited to try out. The next feature I'm excited for in the R2 is their app. Their interface just looks really cool. It's like cartoon style. And don't get me wrong, Polestar's app is fine. It heats, it unlocks. I've had a lot of issues with delays. So if I'm trying to run the AC or the heat remotely, sometimes it just doesn't work and it doesn't tell me that it doesn't work. The Polestar 3 app was recently updated to allow, I don't know if it's gonna focus or not, so the bottom two buttons on the right, it's supposed to be able to like roll up and down the windows, but the buttons for the app are grayed out because they're not going to activate until the orange chip upgrade in here. And like a part of me wanted to just go to Volvo and try to get the chip upgrade before I give this car back. One, I don't think there's going to be enough time. Two, if there were enough time, I really don't want to go back to that service center ever again until I drop this car off, especially considering I like dragged them to filth during my arbitration. Anyway, the Rivian R2 app, not only do they have the phone app, you can get it on your Apple Watch as well. You can open the frunk, which you can't do on here. You can open the trunk, which you also can't do on here, which again, I think you can open the trunk once you get the orange chip upgrade. What else can you do? You can roll down all the windows from the Rivian app. You can trip plan in that app, which I don't think you can do. No, you can't trip plan in the Polestar app. So I don't know, Rivian, you could just tell Rivian is really focused on software. And I think that shows considering that Volvo and Polestar are using Android Automotive and they're just like layering their branding over it. So yeah, the Rivian app just feels more put together. I've never personally used it. I'm curious if you are a Rivian owner. Do you use your app all the time? Do you use phone is key? Are you trip planning often? The only thing I have the Rivian app now is it's like, hello, Jenks, congratulations on your R2 reservation. And it's just like a picture of an R2. So yeah, I'm excited to use that. Another thing I'm excited and looking forward to in the R2, the haptic halo wheels on the steering wheel. This just looks like a cool, I don't know if there's like, I know there are automotive car of the year awards. I think there is like an automotive innovative feature of the year or something like that. I really hope that those haptic halo wheels on the steering wheel get it. Again, I haven't used them yet. The Polestar's steering wheel controls are stupid. They're stupid. There's an up button, there's a down button on both sides, and then there's like touchpads. So technically there's like 6 buttons per side, but you can only use the up and down ones. The other ones are just like, they just don't do anything. But also they're touch sensitive. One of mine is kind of off, so I have to push like below or above where the thumb cutout is. So it's just very finicky. I hate that I can't control, like I know there's a volume circle rocker right here, which I actually love this volume knob. I'm gonna probably actually miss this very much. The Polestar's wheels are like the buttons on the wheel are like 2 out of 10 functionality wise, whereas the Halo haptic wheels, the fact that I can change the fan speed, I can change the temperature, I can switch between screens. I love being able to see what music I'm listening to, either in the head-up display or the driver information display. And the fact that I'll be able to do that on the R2 is just like a huge win. I don't want to always have to like fiddle and look at the center screen. I would really like to just focus my attention in front of me. And it sounds like the Halo haptic wheels will unlock a lot of other functionality in the future, whereas the Polestar 3 has been out for over a year and they haven't like remapped or done or made any changes to the functionality of these buttons. Although on the newer Polestar 3, the 2026 or whatever version is after, they've actually changed the buttons. So now they're actually like physical buttons with pictures and they kind of like all have a function to them. If you could retrofit them on the older models, that would be tight. I don't know if that's going to be a possibility, but it's just, I don't know. They're just very extremely mediocre on this car. I was out filming B-roll and I remembered something that I will not miss about this car and that I'm really excited for on the R2, which is curb view cameras. So on this vehicle, if I put it in reverse, mirrors don't tilt down. In my Polestar 2, the mirrors tilted down. In the Polestar 4, the mirrors tilted down. And for some reason on the Polestar 3, they just don't tilt down automatically. Now I could go and adjust. We could do side mirrors, left mirror. Oh, as you can see, this is being fucking stupid. Okay, so if I go to the adjustments, side mirrors, okay, great. So let's look at the side. For some reason, it keeps kicking me out. I never, ever have problems with the software in here. So this is actually kind of funny that this is happening right now. Right mirror, right, left, right, left. Bro, that is so weird. I'm gonna restart the system, BRB. Okay, Bro, I don't know why this isn't working. Well, this is really funny. This has never happened, but I think it's a testament to the things that piss me off about this car, even though this has never happened. So in the Polestar 2, in the Polestar 4, the mirrors tilt down on reverse. They don't do that in the 3. I don't know why. I opened up a ticket, not even a ticket. There's like a Polestar community forum where Polestar representatives will actually, like engineers and stuff, will actually answer questions. And somebody chimed in and said, no, it is not anywhere on our roadmap to enable or allow the mirrors to tilt down. You'd actually be surprised at how many Polestar drivers are assholes on the forums. When I first brought this up, there's one guy in particular who I ended up blocking on the Polestar forum, but he was like, oh, well, maybe you should just learn how to drive. You don't need mirrors. And like, he was just this like slobby fucking loser. So I don't really care that he was being an asshole. I am a good driver, but I like getting as close to the curb as possible. And in order to do that, I like having a view either via the camera view or via the mirrors tilting down. So what I wanted to show you is that if you do tilt the mirrors all the way down, they do offer a really decent view of the curb. But since that's not working, I wanted to show you the rear view camera. So if I put the car in reverse, it's got these little lines, these dynamic lines that move as I turn the steering wheel. Great, I can do 360 camera, great. But what that doesn't do is it doesn't give me a really to me, that doesn't inspire much confidence if I'm trying not to curb a wheel, right? Like those lines are effectively supposed to show you where the wheels are, but I would rather see it live. It's really annoying that on an $85,000 car, the mirrors don't tilt down, which I had that on my Kia Optima. Like, you know what I'm saying? My Kia EV9 had this too. The Kia EV9 also had an incredible camera view, and this is what the R2 has, where the cameras are pointing directly at either the back wheels or the front wheels, so you can see them. Like, it's like a curb view essentially to prevent things like curbing the wheel. When I test drove the R1S, it did have the curb view for the wheels. I'm assuming that it's going to be the same on the R2 considering all the cameras that it has. So usually with this car, when I'm parallel parking, I'll either manually tilt the mirrors down, which it's really stupid that it's not working right now. And it keeps cutting me off. I'll do that. Or I do rely on the 360 view in this screen. I just don't get as close. I deliberately kind of park far away from the curb because it's just not worth it to me. R2, can't wait for that. I think that's my list, baby. I mentioned the Borealis paint. That's kind of like an honorable mention. Paint colors are boring on cars now. I know a lot of current or prospective R2 owners were hoping for like the Compass Yellow or the, I don't know what it's called. It's like the red color or an orange or like a lighter blue, like the one that I test drove. To me, the purple is really special. It's just really sexy. So I'm excited for the purple. And also honorable mention I mentioned is the Autonomy Plus and Universal Hands Free. Again, the pilot assist on here, it functions well in the sense that it keeps me in the lane, but it is hands-on. I have to keep my hands on the wheel. It's pretty sensitive. Like I can't just, in my Kia EV9, I could literally just like with a pinky, just like touch the steering wheel every 2 minutes or something. And it would never beep at me, it would never alert me, it would never yell at me, it would never try to shut off. In here, I feel like I have to like grip it hard sometimes, and if I grip it hard in the wrong spot, it'll still yell at me. The other thing about Pilot Assist in here is if, let's say I'm on the highway, I'm going 70 miles per hour, Pilot Assist is turned on, I'm holding the wheel, and then I'm just like looking at the center screen. I'm like looking at the map. I'm checking to see out the destination. I'm going through my music, something. If I don't look back at the road within, it's less than 5 seconds for sure. It yells at me and it's like, looks like you're distracted. Please pay attention to the road. It is so incessant and annoying. Like I get that you're supposed to pay attention to the road, but it would be one thing if I was like on my phone or like looking anywhere else. It's got to be less than 5 seconds, because if I'm driving down the street, even if I just kind of like see a cool house or something and I'm like, oh wow, immediately it's like, you're not paying attention to the road. And it's like, bro, like I get that I need to be paying attention to driving. I'm a very cautious, safe driver, but the one in here is way too much. You should be able to like dial it down or something. I get why it's not like that. Free will exists. Let me have my free will. You know, compared to Tesla full self-driving, again, it's like night and day difference. Can't even compare. I test drove Autonomy Plus in the R1S that I just test drove. It's trippy because right now, Universal Hands Free is the system, is Rivian's version. It doesn't stop for stoplights. It recognizes stoplights. So it'll be like, you're coming to a stoplight, like pay attention, or a stop sign, whatever. But because it's not point-to-point autonomy yet, you have to turn off the Universal Hands Free every time you get to a stoplight or whatever. It'll only stop if there's a car in front of you. Kind of have to like train your brain. So I'm probably never going to use that feature in this city until point to point is available. I'll only use it on the highway. It's an exciting prospect if I can just like chill and not touch the wheel and just let my car drive me to and fro. So if you're a Polestar 3 owner, let me know how you're feeling about your vehicle. If you have any questions about lemon law or arbitration, it's funny, the lawyer who was representing Polestar, actually, he called me recently to like tell me what was going on. And we talked for like 30 minutes. He goes, I meant to tell you, you would make a great lawyer. Your positioning and your way of framing things was really spot on. If you ever go to law school and you want support or need advice, hit me up, because that's definitely a career I could see you in. So now I'm like, huh. Do I go to law school? Do I become a lawyer? I mean, lemon law would be cool because I love cars. I don't know, the thought of paying for school again and going for 4 years or whatever, just like, ugh. Yeah, if you have questions about the lemon law process or the legal process, again, I won arbitration without a lawyer. I had a lawyer, but he was terrible at communicating, so I literally fired him. I fired him like 2 days before I was supposed to go to arbitration, and I won. If you are also getting an R2, let me know what specs. What I want to know from you all too, like, are you going to wait for the LiDAR version? Like, are you getting the launch edition with performance? I don't really care about the LiDAR because I like the level 4 autonomy of like, oh, I could just like get in the back seat or let my car pick people up. Like, I don't need that. I'm too paranoid to like let my car drive itself without me in the front seat, like potholes and all that stuff. Like, get fucking real, bro. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe, like this video. Okay, bye.